So after waiting a year, almost a year and a half, for Game of Thrones Season 7, it's finally over in 7 short weeks. And now we possibly have to wait till 2019 for Season 8? I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. What's going on, guys? John here from The Real Talk, and I have another recap of Game of Thrones Season 7, and it's Episode 7 this time, guys. The Dragon and the Wolf, the final episode of the season. And man, what an episode. There's a lot of things that we gotta get to, so let's get started. Before that, obviously there's gonna be massive spoilers, so if you've not seen the episode, please do yourself a huge favor, go watch it and come back and let's talk all about it. So first off, guys, I want to talk about the whole Arya, Sansa, and Littlefinger situation, guys. Finally, I don't want to say finally, but yeah, you know what? Finally, we get the death of Littlefinger. To be honest, guys, I honestly thought the showrunners or whoever, the writers, really tricked me into thinking that Sansa or Arya were gonna die, like both of them or something. I was like, you know what, fucking Littlefinger. I was like, you know what, please, like one of you guys, they like obviously know like Littlefinger's behind this. And when Sansa, okay, you stand accused of this and this, how do you plead, Baelish? And then he's like, what the heck, like what do you mean? I'm confused. Like, oh my god, I was at work watching this and I was just like, what the heck? Like my reaction, I wish I recorded my reaction, but that was awesome. That was priceless. And the way Arya just slices his throat after that. But it's a bittersweet moment because I really like Littlefinger as a character because I like to hate him. Like I love to hate that guy. Like he's so despicable and like he's always up to something. But he did get what he deserved. Obviously what all the things he's done. So it's like I said, bittersweet because the actor did a phenomenal job portraying that character. But he's no longer there, and I love the little moment that Arya and Sansa had after, like in the top of the castle, talking about, the lone wolf dies, but the pack stays together, survives. So that's pretty cool. I love to see them together, and right there in Winterfell, because they're gonna need it. Everybody's gonna need to band together for what's to come in season 8. Also, in Winterfell, guys, we get a little scene with Sam and Bran, and I think obviously Bran had a lot to do with the whole Littlefinger situation, where he came, I believe maybe Sansa or both Arya and Sansa came up to him and said, hey, you know what, like this isn't right, so Bran kind of like showed him or whatever, or he kind of saw Littlefinger's life or whatever. So, but anyways, back to Sam getting back to Winterfell, and he has a little meeting with Bran. And Bran tells him, you know what, Jon has to know the truth about his true heritage. And obviously we get that little scene. It's kind of going back in time and kind of showing you where Jon and Daenerys are, having some boat sex, and Tyrion right there in the watching it. He's kind of like, I was kind of weirded out. Like he's my favorite character, but it's like, dude, like what are you doing? Like one part of me said, is like, you know what, Tyrion's kind of heartbroken because I felt like Tyrion kind of like fell in love with Daenerys, but at the same time his face was kind of like, oh shit, this could end really bad, but we finally get the reveal that Jon's actual true name is Aegon Targaryen, and he's the actual rightful heir to the throne. So that's gonna throw everything off loop for next season. So that's the whole thing with Sam and Bran, that Bran was talking to Sam and telling him about Jon, and Sam's like, you know what, I read about this, about the wedding and stuff like that, over there at the Citadel. So that was a pretty good scene. I love that how they go back and forth, like what's going on now to Bran and Sam, and like what happened in the past. So let's get on to the main meeting, I guess, of the episode, where both of them, both Daenerys' team and Cersei's team met. So like I was saying, guys, before we got to the main meeting, which was so filled with dramatic moments and tension and stuff like that, like this whole series was like been building up to that moment, and this was so well done. A lot of little character moments, like the Hound and the Mountain finally confronting each other again, and Podrick and I was gonna say Littlefinger, Podrick and Tyrion, having a little back and forth, and also Bronn was there, having a little back and forth with them, and then the Hound and Brienne kind of just not really like, I thought they were gonna be like, what the heck, like to each other, but I think they were. Brianna was like, okay, oh, like, oh, he's still alive, but they were like talking about like Arya and stuff like that, and like the Hound's like, you know what, I'm not gonna get in your way again. So that was pretty cool. All those little moments were leading up to that meeting, and man, that meeting was awesome, guys. Obviously, Euron came up to like, you know, hey, you know what, like screw you, you know, like Theon, you know, bow to me or whatever, or I'm gonna kill your sister, you know. So it was pretty cool how I felt like each character had their moment, because Euron, it's like one of those characters not gonna wait his turn. You know, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna say things now because I want to say them. You know, but obviously Cersei's like, you know what, sit down. We need to see this. But speaking of Cersei, I should say, her face when she saw that White Walker like running towards her, I thought that was so well shot. She was like, you actually saw fear in her face, and normally you don't see that from Cersei. You know, she's always kind of like, oh, I'm badass, like fuck everything, I'm not scared of anything. But man, but obviously we find out that Cersei has another game plan, and that Euron didn't really go back to the Iron Islands, that he's gonna go pick up the Golden Company. And I said that in an earlier episode recap, that, you know, the Golden Company is like an army, so like we need to be like on our toes for that, for the next coming episodes. But it looks like we're gonna finally see them in the next season. And yeah, guys, that whole meeting was great, and obviously it didn't go as planned, because Jon had that whole loyalty thing to Daenerys, and Tyrion had to go talk to her sister, and that's what I'm going to talk about next, about Cersei and her two brothers, and how I thought both of them were going to die. Obviously, you guys know, if you guys have been watching the recaps, that Tyrion is my favorite character, and I really felt like he was going to have a Rorschach moment. A little spoilers from Watchmen, but he's like, you know what, fine, like if you're going to kill me, go ahead and do it. He goes up to the mountain and says, you know what, do it, you know? And I was like, oh my god, if they kill Tyrion, like I'm going to be so sad, like this is, come on, you know? But I love that moment that he had with Cersei. Obviously they don't dislike each other, hate each other, but I just love the whole dialogue and the performances, obviously. And then we have a little later on in the episode, we have a little like that same moment with Jaime, like kind of showing you where Cersei's at now. She's willing to kill her brothers, well obviously Tyrion, but now she's willing to even kill Jaime, you know? And like, I thought for sure Jaime was gonna go. I was like, you know what, Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones. Jaime's gonna bite it. He's like my third favorite character behind Jon Snow and Tyrion. But man, I was like, you know what, like we need a character death, and like nobody's died yet, so man, it has to be Jaime. Like fuck, man. But he called Cersei's bluff. He's like, you know what, I don't believe you. He just leaves. He actually leaves. He's gonna go on his way to I was gonna say King's Landing, to Winterfell. But man, that was also a great scene, how they had like a little back and forth, and Jaime's like, you know what, either there's two possibilities are going to happen. Both of them we're going to end up dying. Either whoever wins that war is going to come after us. You know, whether it be the White Walkers, they're going to come and kill us, or, you know, Daenerys' army, after they're finished with that, they're going to come and kill us. You know, he's like, so we need to do something. So, especially for the baby and stuff like that. But, man, Cersei's just a ruthless bitch now, guys. And even with the baby, she's not really, you know, she's still plotting behind everybody's back. So, let's see how it ends. I'm calling it right now. I think Jaime either dies killing Cersei, or like he dies, well, that's what I'm saying, or he kills Cersei. You know, like I think he's gonna end up killing her, but he might end up dying as well, like, you know, the both twins die at the same time or something like that. But that's my prediction for next season. But let's move on to the next little interaction or whatever. Next, I want to talk about Theon. Theon finally had his moment. I thought it was going to be earlier, and I believe in the episode 2 where Euron has his sister and said, you know what, come save her. And I thought he was probably going to die or something like that, trying to, you know, finally man up. But he jumps ship, and obviously he leaves. But he finally has his moment. He talks to Jon. He's like, you know what, you've always been the better of us too, obviously. And, you know, you're always found your way to, like, be right and stuff like that. So he kind of have courage from Jon, and Jon actually forgave him. He said, you know what, I can't forgive you for everything, but for what I can't forgive you, I forgive you. So after that, Theon goes to the rest of the Iron Island people, and he actually is getting his ass kicked. He kind of had like a little Fight Club moment, and he obviously ends up getting the upper hand. He washes his face and like, you know what, let's go get my sister. And that's going to be another interesting factor in the next season, because I think he's probably going to die getting her sister back. You know, his sister back, I should say. But I don't know, hopefully that would be really cool to see Theon kind of get himself like redemption and killing Euron. That would be really cool. But I don't think Euron's gonna go out like that because he's such like a badass character, whatever. But we'll see how that whole storyline wraps up. But obviously, guys, I was talking about this earlier before about the whole boat sex thing, how Jon and Dany finally, you know, were intimate, and then it was kind of like weird, like, okay, this is like the aunt and the nephew like having sex or whatever. But obviously, we've had incest before, and I believe House Targaryen is known for that type of stuff. But it's interesting. I don't know how they're gonna both take it after, like, because Daenerys is gonna find out eventually, like, he's actually the rightful heir to the throne, and she's been like doing all this the whole time because she believed that. So it's gonna be very interesting now that they shared that intimate moment, finding out everything. So next season is gonna be wild, guys. I wish it was 10 episodes again. HBO, come on, fix your shit. This is like your best show, and it's making you all this kinds of money, and like, come on, give us more episodes. But alright, guys, I think that's gonna be it. Oh wait, obviously, what happened at the wall? Come on, man. Obviously, we see Tormund and I believe Beric, I think that's his name. They're, you know, at the wall chilling, you know, having I was gonna say a cup of coffee, but they're just, you know, on top of the wall doing their thing, and we finally see the army of the dead coming out of the forest, and we see Viserys, the ice dragon, now come and just, you know, rip a hole in the wall. Rest in peace, the wall. You know, that was a very cool scene. It was really interesting to see Viserys' powers now that he's a White Walker or whatever. So now, guys, they broke through the wall and they're heading towards, I think, Winterfell, maybe. I'm not sure. Well, the north, obviously, of Westeros. What's it called? Westeros. So that was cool. They even have giants, guys. This is gonna be intense. This is just gonna be an all-out war. Everybody's gonna die. But I'm so excited for next season, the final season. That's so bittersweet, guys. But alright, guys, until then, until maybe 2019, like I said in the beginning, that sucks. I hope it's not true. But overall, guys, I've been doing these little recaps, and for the season, if I'm doing a little review as well, I'd give this season a 9 out of 10, guys. This was an amazing season from beginning to end, and it wasn't, I feel like the finale could have been a little bit more intense like last year's season finale, but, you know, and also kind of, I'm not saying this was a big issue for me, because I know it was for a lot of people, the whole time traveling thing, the whole, you know, getting from point A to point B like that. It just kind of took me a little bit off guard, but then I was like, okay, you know what, we don't have enough time, so it's cool that they're doing these little things. So that's why I give it a 9 out of 10, guys, for this season. But alright, guys, that's been my recap for Game of Thrones Season 7. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I might do other shows in the future, and I won't say which ones just in case I don't wind up doing them, but I'll probably will. There's one show in particular that I really want to cover because the first season was amazing, and now the second season is going to come out, I think, in October or something. That's kind of a little hint, but I might do that one. It's a little bit different how it's released, so I don't know. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this recap series of Game of Thrones, and hopefully until next year. If not 2019, I'll see you guys then. So until then, later, guys.